Tonight, you sleep in a medieval castle. By morning, you'll wish you hadn't. From the outside, it looks powerful, impenetrable, even romantic. That illusion dies the moment you step inside. The year is 1250. You've traveled for days to reach this castle. You expect shelter, warmth, safety. What you find is something entirely different. The first thing that hits you is not the sight of the stone walls or the flickering torches, it's the smell. A smell so thick and so wrong that your body reacts before your mind can process it. Rotting straw, animal dung, damp stone, and something else, something that takes a moment to identify. Human waste, everywhere, seeping into every surface, every breath, every moment of every day. This is the Great Hall. This is where most people sleep, not in private rooms, not in beds, on the floor, packed together like livestock, sharing space with actual animals. Dogs roam freely between the bodies, eating whatever they find on the ground. Children cry in the darkness. Men cough with a wetness that tells you everything you need to know about the state of their lungs. Your bed is a thin mat of straw on the bare stone floor. That straw hasn't been changed in weeks. It is alive, not metaphorically. Lice, fleas, and mites have made it their permanent home, and tonight they will make you theirs. Medieval castles had no insulation. Stone walls 2 meters thick do not retain heat, they destroy it. Even with a fire burning at full strength, temperatures inside regularly dropped below freezing during winter nights. The cold does not creep up on you here. It sits on your chest from the moment you arrive, and it does not move. The windows offer no relief. They were never designed for comfort. They're narrow arrow slits, built for archers, not for human beings trying to survive the night. When the wind comes, and it always comes, there is nothing between you and the full force of the darkness outside. A piece of torn cloth pressed against the gap. That is all you have. And that fireplace, that enormous fireplace that everyone is desperately crowded around, it is not the salvation it appears to be. Medieval chimney design was catastrophically inefficient. The majority of smoke poured not up and out, but directly into the room. Chronic lung damage from indoor smoke inhalation was so common in medieval castle populations that it left permanent, visible marks on their excavated skeletons centuries later. But you cannot simply walk to the fire and warm yourself. Position near the hearth is determined entirely by social rank. The lord's household stands closest, knights second, servants last. If you are a visitor of low standing, and tonight you are, you retreat to the cold, dark corners of the hall. You wrap your rough wool blanket tighter around your shoulders. You accept it, because there is no alternative. When nature calls in the night, you must find the garderobe, the medieval toilet. It is a stone seat with a hole cut through it, dropping straight down the exterior wall of the castle into the darkness far below. There is no door in many cases, no privacy, and in winter, a column of freezing wind drives upward through that hole with a force that removes any last illusion of comfort or dignity. But most people in the castle do not make that journey in the night. They use chamber pots, which are emptied, sometimes out the nearest window, sometimes into a corner of the room, sometimes not until morning. The smell that greets you each new dawn is something that modern language genuinely struggles to describe accurately. The castle kitchen never truly closed, and it never truly cleaned. Grease coated every surface in a layer that had been building for months. Rats moved freely through the food stores, across the preparation surfaces, over the hanging carcasses. Hygiene as a concept simply did not exist in any form that we would recognize today. If you were lucky enough to eat that evening, your meal was pottage, a thick, dark boiled stew of whatever happened to be available. Overcooked vegetables, scraps of gristle, grain of indeterminate origin, occasional mystery ingredients that you were better off not identifying. The bread beside it was days old, hard at the edges, and quietly growing mold. The ale in your cup was murky and brown, but you drank it because the water was worse. Castle water came from wells dug within the walls, placed there for siege survival, not for health. These wells sat in direct proximity to latrines, stables, and refuse pits that had been accumulating waste for generations. Contamination was not a possibility, it was a certainty. Dysentery was so common in medieval castle populations that it was simply considered a normal, expected part of daily life. The floors of the castle were covered in rushes, dried grass mixed with fragrant herbs, but they were not replaced when they became dirty. New rushes were thrown on top of old ones. Underneath that fresh layer accumulated months, in some recorded cases years, of food scraps, animal droppings, vomit, spilled liquid, and quietly decomposing organic matter. The herbs were intended to mask the smell. They did not. Moving through the castle at night carried its own genuine dangers entirely separate from the cold and the filth. Stone staircases were uneven, worn smooth by decades of boots, and lit by almost nothing.
If you enjoyed this video, give it a like and subscribe to the channel for more hidden stories from history. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.